Today's episode of Diamonds Are Forever is up and ready. We are on episode 4 of HBO's Hard Knocks, and me and Diamante Williams are in full form. The preseason is here, the season is upon us, and we dive into HBO's Hard Knocks. But first, on the channel, I don't know if you've noticed, I have a new stand-up clip up there, a full set from the Burbank Comedy Festival, so you can go check that out. See me doing stand-up from your own living room or car or whatever. So go check it out, and there are show dates coming. I will update you on that. But now, it is time for Diamonds Are Forever. We give our main takeaways from the episode, then the categories, then our Diamonds Are Forever story. Good one this week. Diamante has a good one. I have one that I have been waiting to tell for a long time now. So stick around for the end of the show for that. That's what people like the most, I've found out. They want the Diamonds Are Forever story. They want to know the tales of our youth, our highs, our lows. A lot of lows. So that's all happening. Check it out. Where are you on Hard Knocks? Are you up with the series? Do you binge it? Do you wait every Tuesday to watch it? Are you even a Cowboys fan? I don't even know. I figure the Cowboys are a team you just watch, even if you don't like them. I do anyway. So, right now, Diamante Williams, me, Patrick Ramirez, Hard Knocks review of Episode 4, the Dallas Cowboys, Diamonds Are Forever, right now. All right, it is Tuesday night. We just took in Episode 4, Dallas Cowboys Hard Knocks. It's 8:14 West Coast time. Diamante Williams is here with me in Houston, Texas. Diamante, we're here. We're queer. Episode 4 in the books. This is official.
Speak for yourself, sir. Speak for yourself.
It's official. I am ready for the season now.
Me too.
I am full on ready after this episode. I know the season's coming. I know the major players. I know the teams. I know we are still a little bit out till the season starts. But here's my opening question. Right now, right here, right now, is this the best time in the NFL right now? Is the preseason the best time for the NFL?
Absolutely not. That's got to be the craziest question about preseason, right? Preseason is nothing but, I think I texted to you earlier, it's a cock tease, right? It's just nothing but, it just gets us excited. And then not only that, you can't even get excited about the whole game. You get excited for like a one quarter or maybe a couple drives because that's when the starters are actually playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
and I always wondered how these players could, keep their intensity levels up the entire game, right? They're third stringers, fourth stringers, not knowing if they're going to even make the team or not, right? So that's kind of scary if you think about it.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Okay.
In the preseason, every team is undefeated. Every team thinks they're going to the playoffs. Every team that had a bad year last year is on the road to redemption. Every coach is ready to prove themselves. So this is the best time because everybody's happy with their team. Come week 6, when you're 0-6, 1-5, 2-4, then half your fans hate you. They hate your quarterback. They hate your coaches. They're like, screw this. Or they're like, that's it. We're tanking. We're tanking for next year. So the best part about Christmas isn't Christmas, it's Christmas Eve. It's the anticipation. And right now, we are all at a 10 for our teams. Whether you were a fan of the worst team last year or the best team last year, everybody is in the same boat as saying, like, this is our year. Everybody has said this is our year at some point so far.
So I guess my point is correct, right? It's a cock tease, right? It's that lead up.
It's foreplay. It's definitely our foreplay.
You got blue balls right now, man.
Right, right. You're like, yeah, you're like hooking up with this chick, but you don't know if she has a C-section scar yet or not. You just don't know. You don't know, but you're hoping for the best. But you are hoping for the best.
You're grinding fully clothed, right?
This is the bump and grind portion of the season, which is fun, but you're right. At some point, the season needs to be kicked off in earnest. So I think there's an argument to be made that right now in the preseason, this is the best time. Everybody thinks they've got a winning team. Preseason
You're
the
right
best
about
time. Well, we just watched episode 4. Another episode I really liked. Main takeaways from episode 4. It really hammered home to me that this is a business and it is crunch time now. Guys are going home. Guys are playing their last NFL play. They're in their last time they're in a uniform for this game. It's time to make or break. So I got that notion that things got kind of serious. It wasn't all fun and games.
Was serious. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah, that was one of my big takeaways is that it's all, there's not as much laughing now. It's all like, are you making it or are you not?
Yep. It's definitely got a serious tone to it, now. And it's crazy to see it. It just came out. This episode came out the day of cut. So obviously they didn't know who was getting cut unless they had some type of editing that went on today.
Right. Yeah, that's true. We're ahead because we know. I mean, the biggest business decision as of right now is Cam is cut from the Patriots.
Yeah.
Cam is gone. We know by now DiNucci's gone. And we're just reading all these players that are now free agents and on the waivers that other teams can pick them up. So it's serious business. Cam is the biggest one, I think.
Yeah, I think that's huge.
Right. I don't know if anybody was talking that as of last week, that Cam was potentially on the chopping block.
What I saw on Twitter today, and it made a lot of sense, because of COVID, and I got one of my big takeaways of this episode was the COVID pandemic is still real, right? Because they really haven't touched it all the first 3 episodes, but this one it actually hit the Dallas Cowboys. But what I saw on Twitter today was they were talking about this vaccine is making coaches and GMs look at people different. If you're vaccinated, you're probably going to make a roster spot. If you're unvaccinated and you're not good, right, you just can't be both, right? You can't be unvaccinated and you can't be mediocre. You're not going to make the team, and that's what they said about Cam, right? He's because they had other examples. Cole Beasley, he's not vaccinated. He's against it, but he's an all-pro, right? He had a really good season last year. Lamar Jackson, the quarterback for the Ravens, he's not vaccinated, but he's the MVP, right? So it goes to show right now, if you're unvaccinated and you're mediocre, who cares if Cam Newton was the MVP 5, 6, 7 years ago, right? He's mediocre right now and he's unvaccinated. You're probably not going to help my team win this year.
It's such a good point because whatever your beliefs are about it, you need to give yourself the best chance to make a team. And if there's any reason for them to say, I'm taking this guy over another guy, all things being equal, because you went for the vax or you did not, it can work against you because you almost need to think about it. Say you're anti getting the vaccine for whatever reason. It hurts you in the sense that it's just a blemish on your resume right now. Because they're like, okay, it'd be kind of like if you had a couple of priors, and you're like, well, we just can't. You're on the bubble. It'd be one thing if you're an all-pro, but you're not. Why give yourself a potential black spot to not make the team? So that's a really, really good point that I saw that on a few pods as well of who is not and what that does for them. Correct. So interesting. I had that in my main takeaways as well, that we are still very much in COVID protocols. We're still going to have to change the way we do business depending on exposure, all that stuff. And then back to non-in-person stuff. So we're still, I don't see it derailing anything as far as schedule games. I don't think we'll have that. I don't think we'll have Tuesday games like we had last year.
That was
But
crazy.
yeah, it really, really was. It's almost
Yeah.
like we'll play it, but does it count? Well, it certainly counts, but
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have any schedule changes like that. We'll have meeting changes, we'll have a little, but I don't see the NFL wrecking its sort of planned season for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know at this point, but you're right. We're
Yeah.
still very much, there's new rules that we just have to blindly follow and the season can continue, but it's still happening.
Yeah, they said that there was not going to be any kind of extensions this year, like how they had last year. You're either going to forfeit the game because you and your team wasn't vaccinated and you couldn't play, you couldn't field the team, right? So you're just going to take the L, right? So yeah, I don't think they're not going to allow it to affect their season this year, especially with an extra week this year, right? They got 17 games, or yeah, there's 18 weeks, 17 games.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I had that in there as well, that there's still a ton of rules in place that we're going to go through, and it's going to be throughout the whole season. We'll have little changes throughout the whole season, I'm sure.
Yeah, a good stat that I saw last year though, through all this COVID, last year was the first year that an NFL game was played on every day of the week.
Oh, really?
There was an NFL game played on every day of the week last year.
No kidding. I know
There was
we
a
had
Monday game, there's a Tuesday game,
Monday
a
night.
Wednesday game, a Thursday. Of course, there's
That's
always
right.
Thursday
There was a
game.
Wednesday game. We always have a Thursday game.
And there was a Friday game.
We had a Friday. Okay, I don't remember the Friday.
Yes. Yep.
Interesting.
They had a Friday game, and I think the Friday game was the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns or something like that.
Sounds right. Oh, I think I remember. That might have been the infamous throw your helmet at the guy game. Was that the game?
No, that was 2 years ago. That was like two or three. That was like two.
Was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago. Yeah.
I love that game. Yeah. Through the helmet. Shout out to the late great Lyle Alzado for throwing his helmet way back when in the 80s and enacting that rule that you can't throw your helmet. That was one of those things where like, did you throw your helmet at me? And then the guy goes, show me in the rule book where it says you can't throw your helmet.
Absolutely.
Right. A game every day. I was talking to someone about a year ago and he was like, screw it. Let's just have games every day. Let's just have it every day.
That was awesome though, to be honest.
And I could totally see that.
Yeah. Every day I was getting off work, there was a game and I was like, yes. Let's go.
I could very well be into this. I am a fan of the games being once a week because it's kind of like your favorite TV show. You watch it every week. Then you can talk about it all week long, and then you get to watch another game. You get to watch another episode.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm kind of old school in that way. But if you had a game on every day, I'm watching it. There's no stopping. I'm gonna watch it.
Easy. Yeah.
Always gonna watch it.
They can easily dominate TV space, but they're giving everybody else a chance. So.
There's no stopping the NFL. There's nothing really they can't do. They're in London. They haven't even tapped that market of the games outside of the States. They do London, they do Mexico every third year, but yeah, they need to they'll keep it going. There's no stopping them. Everybody loves the NFL.
This is the NFL's world. We just live in it.
They need to have a game in space. They need to get Richard Branson and Elon Musk and like, let's have a game in space, boys. And they'll do it. There's no stopping it.
Jeff Bezos out there, huh?
Bezos, yeah. Let's get Bezos up there. Or they could have a game. Where else could they have a game? Oh, you know how sometimes they have like a tennis match on a big old military aircraft carrier?
Yeah. Or a basketball game on an aircraft carrier.
Can we have a football field on an aircraft carrier? Is that possible? Why not, right?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, absolutely.
Put two of them next to each other.
Cool. That aircraft carrier is big enough for a 100-yard field easily.
It's very possible. It's very possible. My last takeaway from episode 4 Why are we still having DiNucci getting airtime? What does DiNucci know? What dirt does he have on HBO executives? If you didn't know the Dallas Cowboys, you would go, let me tell you who the best players are on this team are. Yeah. Dak, Zeke, and DiNucci. That's what you would think watching this. DiNucci has still got tons of screen time this episode. I have no idea why. But those are my three big points, is that DiNucci somehow is almost the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, according to Hard Knocks.
Now that I think about it, Pat, I think HBO shot themselves in the foot by picking the Dallas Cowboys. Because, first of all, a lot of people don't know. I mean, obviously I follow the Cowboys a lot, but Mike McCarthy is a very secretive person. He doesn't like to show his hand at all. And it's the reason why, obviously, you don't see a lot of Zeke in practice. You don't see Dak. They showed him throwing because they have to show and say, hey, he was out for all these, all these days, these couple weeks without throwing. So they have to show and bring him back. But he's been throwing behind the cameras when the cameras are off. He's been throwing, according to a lot of the insiders in the Cowboys. So I think HBO shot themselves in the foot thinking they were going to get a lot of, good storylines, a lot of, they probably got ratings because as Cowboys, they're always going to draw people, but they didn't really give, I don't think what they would have gotten if they would have picked, again, a Cleveland Browns right now, who's kind of an exciting, team to watch.
We are missing that one crazy guy in this series, that one guy who's really outlandish, dresses funny, talks funny. We're missing that guy in this series. That always kind of puts the team over the edge. Like when it was it Brian Scott for the Jets, or it was Vince Wilfork when he joined the Houston Texans. He was outrageous that one year they had Hard Knocks. Chad Johnson was outrageous. He came out with
his overalls.
Wilfork came with the overalls, and like we're missing that one crazy player on this series. Dallas seems to have a bunch of guys that kind of just mean business and are kind of regular, but we need that one foil that is just fucking nuts. I thought we were going to have something with the coach who was talking about vasectomies in episode 1. I thought maybe this is going to be our guy. Maybe this is going to be our crazy guy, but we haven't had crazy coaches either. So yeah, I hear you. Dallas surprisingly tame for this series.
It's a good thing. That makes me kind of happy. It makes me kind of feel like they're focused. Is the way it has me feeling. So as a fan, I love it.
Well, last week I had some steak or salad questions for you. This week I have 2. I got a few to get your insight on. Steak or salad. Steak is good. Salad is bad.
I had a steak the other day, by the way. It was a porterhouse.
Oh.
I grilled 2 of them. They were sweet. They're nice.
How do you prefer your steak cooked? Are you a medium or below guy?
I call it medium rare plus, so it's like not really medium rare, not really medium. It's right in that middle, according to the chefs, right? But medium is much of a cooked steak as I will take.
Gotcha.
What about you?
I default to medium, but I'll do this. Plus it makes me sound smart, but I'm not smart. I always just tell the waiter whatever the chef recommends.
Yeah, and it's always medium rare, by the way.
And it'll be that anyway. And then plus I sound smart to the table, even though I'm a moron. And I'll be like, whatever the chef recommends.
Actually, you only sound smart to the waiter.
Right.
Everybody else knows your game at that table.
Everybody knows, it's up to my little tricks. I had a friend do this. Everybody has that one friend that drives you fucking nuts. I had this one friend. We would go to a restaurant, and I'll order my thing, and then he'll go, "Okay, for you, sir," and he'll go, "What's in the tuna, and how do you cook is this cooked?" Just a million questions, and he'll stare at the menu exhausted, and he'll go, "I'll just have whatever Patrick had." He's done that to me multiple times. I'm like, just order. You can save us 3.5 minutes, Kevin. It's my restaurant
something else so I can try yours also.
Yeah, that's his move. Asks 8 to 10 questions and then orders whatever I had just ordered. Steak or salad? First one for you. Thursday Night Football.
Steak.
Steak. Yeah, I thought you would go. stake on that for the Thursday.
Yeah.
I think teams have figured out Thursday night football by now too. It
Hmm.
used to be both teams were kind of lax for
Yeah.
Thursday night, but I think we figured out that can be, they know how to prepare better for it and they're competitive
Yes.
games. And then we always get good matchups.
Yes. And that Thursday night, as a fan from the fan side, it's just like you feel like it's your kickoff to the weekend. You
Right.
know,
Well,
it's game time, right?
well, do you remember a long time ago, Thursday night also used to be reserved for a college game?
College football.
And
Yep.
that for me would
Yep.
kick off the weekend because like, all right, we got
You're
school
right.
tomorrow, but it's Friday, and it would be kind of
Yeah.
a middle major matchup. It'd be like a Pittsburgh versus Cal
Yeah.
type of match. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
a marquee matchup, but it would be enough. You'd be like, dude, I just need a taste. I just need a little taste. I'll watch this college game, and then tomorrow, last day, and then it's the weekend. So it used to be I would get that fix out of college, and now we get the full deal.
Yeah, they still have
NFL.
the college football games, but it's definitely
It's dead.
nobody teams for sure.
Yeah, the weekday college is dead, which also begs the question, the observation that preseason is the best for college football because that first week of college football, they get the Sunday game. They get
Yeah,
to play games on Sunday.
that's
They get a
true.
Monday game. So they get a little bit
And
of,
that's this weekend.
and that's this weekend, right? So that is a little bit for the preseason. For the college guys get to take center stage that
Yep.
first week. So
Who's your college football team?
I have to default. I have no college football team, so I default to our hometown, of course, but we always suck.
Yep.
UTEP sucks.
Hey, they beat the pants off of NMSU
I saw
last
that. So they're 1-0. So I say we quit the season right now
week.
and we go home 1-0 undefeated. So of course
Let's
I
go.
default to my hometown college. I went there for one summer semester, so I got 3 credits. I got 3 credits from a UT school.
There you go.
And then the other team I'll default to because of family association.
Yep.
3 members of my family went to USC.
Yep.
So I will default to USC. I'll cheer for them. I flirted when I first moved to Los Angeles. I worked in Santa Monica, which is UCLA country. So I flirted with the idea, like, am I UCLA? I was like, no, because they're rivals. I can't be UCLA.
Yeah, do
So
it.
I stuck with USC. So I'll go USC. I'll go Pac-12. I keep an eye on Utah, my second home, Salt Lake. I'll keep an eye on the Utah Utes. It was a big move when we made it to the Pac-12. It was a big move when I moved to Salt Lake right after Alex Smith, right after Urban Meyer. So
Yeah.
it was hot. The Utes were hot. So I will default to Utah and I will follow them as well. And I lived
Love
there a
it.
couple seasons where they were really good and the whole town gets into it, which is what I love the most about college football is
Love
when a
it.
town takes on the team. I love that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Who's
sir.
your college team?
Of course, I'm a alum of UTEP, right? So of course I root for UTEP. I always grew up rooting for UT. Being in Texas, right? Being a Texas boy. My father went to law school at UT, so always rooted for them. And then I like the Michigan Wolverines for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just grew up. I like that, maize and orange. Maize and blue. Excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
right? That those
Yeah,
colors are
Big
just
Blue.
always. Yeah, big blue. I've always liked them for some reason. So I would say those would be my favorite schools. And then Jimmy, the infamous Jimmy, he did go
Fake ID
to
Jimmy?
Michigan. Yeah, fake ID Jimmy. He
Okay.
graduated from Michigan.
Our
So
hometown has weird team
yeah,
associations because we don't
yeah,
have a pro
definitely.
team. Our college team is subpar. But
Yeah.
I remember seeing a lot of Michigan
Mhm.
jackets and stuff. This was the era of the Fab Five, of course. So
Yeah.
they were super popular. A lot of Notre Dame. There's a lot
Yeah.
of Notre Dame fans in our hometown. There's some West Coast bias in our hometown with people like USC and stuff.
Yeah.
But do you remember a time where there was a big Miami following when we
Yeah.
were teenagers? I think, well, they
The
were
U.
cool. Yeah, they were cool. They were a hip team. So we
I was gonna
gravitate
say
to a lot of
that.
odd teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, and also there was a I guess a period of my childhood growing up where I really liked Florida State. That was one
Oh,
of
yeah.
my favorite schools. That when they had Peter Warwick, obviously Bobby Bowden was there. Work done, with the running back then. Who was the quarterback? The
Florida State
back.
had a few. Charlie Ward was one I
Yeah, Charlie
remember.
Ward. Yes, Charlie Ward is who
Uh,
I was going for.
yeah, Charlie Ward was pretty good. The dual sport
Hmm.
athlete was great.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Yep.
were an excellent 90s into the late
Yeah.
90s team. Florida
Yeah,
State.
I liked watching them. When I was in elementary school, middle school, those were that was one of my favorite teams to watch.
Hmm. I
Hmm.
remember learning, like, I was thinking about, like, watching sports, say, with, like, your parent or, like, your dad. The only reason I learned where colleges were was through watching college football. Because you're like, hey, Dad, where's
Where is that?
Purdue?
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, is is Cal a good school? And then my dad would be like, oh, yeah, good school, good school. Hey,
Where the
Dad,
hell is
what's
Loyola?
Northwest? Right, yeah, what's Northwestern? You would just sort of like, that's how I learned my geography, was through college football and asking, like, where is Purdue? Where is Northwestern?
How do you say Duquesne? Oh, Duquesne. What is it, Duquesne?
Okay, right. Appalachian State? Yeah.
Where
And
the
then
hell is
your dad
that?
would correct you. Like, it's
Yeah.
not the Nifty Lions, it's the Nittany Lions. And you're like,
Yeah.
what? Oh, it's the only way you would know. You wouldn't know any other way. So
Yeah.
college
You
football,
think
yeah,
that
it teaches you geography.
and that's the cool thing about college as well. You think these college schools are in the capital of the state, and they're usually in these bumfuck nowhere cities, right?
Yeah. That's, yeah, what I love about, the college
Yeah.
town. The
Yeah.
college town is like that. The college is their business, is their
Yep.
industry, which I think is
Yep.
kind of cool. Question number 2, steak or salad? Wearing a jersey to a non-sporting event.
Salad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wearing a jersey to a non-sport. How about wearing a jersey to a game that your team's not even playing in?
Ooh,
How about that?
power move. Interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jersey tactics. I've seen this one, which
Yeah.
I like. You go to a team's game. Say I'm going to an LA Kings game. And when I go to the LA Kings game, hockey team, I wear a Dodgers jersey. Ooh, power move. What's that about? It's like, I am so into the city, into my teams. I gotta represent the team that is not here, but in the same city.
Yeah.
I mean, the jersey is so odd. Yeah, if you're not going to a sporting event, then I don't like the jersey. I don't like the jersey. I don't like when people wear the basketball jersey without the shirt underneath it.
Yeah.
That's weird. But sporting event, I say go all out.
I don't wear it. I've never been like a fit guy with, big old muscles. So I never wore the basketball jerseys, the tank tops. That was never my jersey. I was always either a baseball or obviously a football jersey type of guy.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
speaking of, I had to buy the Dak Prescott jersey, right? I told myself if he signed this year that I was going to go ahead and get the all white, Dallas Cowboy Dak Prescott jersey, and it just came in yesterday. I love it.
Nice. Very nice. The season is official.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think that I'm with you. I think the jersey is reserved to the sporting event. It's kind of like the uniform. When you wear it out and about, I get leery of that person. I get a little nervous about that person in a social setting wearing a sports jersey to it. So, all right, let's do the categories. We have a ton to talk about this week. I have my Blue Moon with me. I'm sticking with Blue Moon throughout the summer.
I've got this Buffalo Bayou Lighten Up is what it's called.
All right, we are ready for the categories then.
Last week I had this. I had drank one earlier, but Buffalo Bayou, it was Wake and Bake.
Right, I do remember that.
Buffalo Bayou, it's a local beer. They're pretty good.
All right, category number 1 is MVP scene. I got 3 candidates for you, and feel free to add in. Candidate number 1, Mike McCarthy gives the real deal speech, but he does it in his dad shirt. Candidate number 2 for MVP scene, the locker room right before that final preseason game. That was intense. It was intense. Guys were saying, like, we might not be here tomorrow. This is our last chance. The only gripe I have with that scene is they're playing that the Rocky song, but it's a cover.
Yeah.
That took me
Yeah.
out of the moment. I was like, play the real song or get a different song.
It's so funny that you said that because I was like, "What song is that?" My wife was listening to it also, and she's like, "Rocky."
Yeah, it was. Was it it was Eye of the Tiger?
Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was. I mean, they obviously couldn't clear the
Cover.
copyright, so they got a cover of it. But it just took me out of it. I was like, if you're not gonna play the real song, don't play the song. Because all I hear, I do this with all covers. Every time I hear a cover song, I just think like, wow, I can't wait to hear the actual song. I can't wait to hear like if you're gonna cover a song. Yeah, if you're gonna cover a song we've never heard of. That's the move. If you're like a middle market band, cover a song we've never heard of and make it, punk rock or metal or whatever your version. Don't cover a song we already all like. All right, sorry. Beyond that, I have no thoughts on the matter.
Hold on. How do you feel about going to a bar and all they have is a cover band? And they're just playing nothing but covers.
Well, I can go with that because I know I'm gonna like those songs. I'm talking like when a band records a cover song and puts it on their album. I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, don't put no cover songs on your album.
Let me ask you this: are you really a band if you're only doing covers?
I think you are technically, yes, musicians. A band, that might be harder by the definition because you're not doing original music.
Original stuff.
That
right.
being said, I have seen some tribute bands that only play covers from one band, and they are fucking good. I saw an all-female AC/DC tribute band once, and it was awesome. Amazing. It was amazing. What were they called? Hell's Bells, Belles. So there are some talented musicians out there. They're just like, awesome. This is our lane. We're playing only covers from this band. So, what were we talking about? Football?
Yeah, I know, right?
Third nominee for the MVP scene, Jerry hobnobbing through the credits. I'm telling you, I could use another 7 minutes of Jerry shaking hands, talking about Whataburger, awesome. Flipping the coin and winking at the camera.
Yeah, kissing babies,
Yes.
Waving at people, doing everything, acting like the president.
Mm-hmm. Those are my three MVP scene candidates. Do you have any additions to that?
I'll add one more on there.
Go ahead.
The Dak egging on Amari Cooper, bringing that that competitive spirit out of him, right? Amari Cooper is not that type of guy. He's not a vocal guy at all. And he even said after practice, the scene afterwards, he's like, man, that's all Dak's fault, man. I'm not even like that. I apologize. Yeah. I'm not even like that.
It really makes me wish we had more Amari Cooper time in this series because, like, we think DiNucci is second on the depth chart. I think Amari Cooper is on the chopping block because we just haven't heard anything, and yet he's first team. So that was an interesting one. Cooper was talking a little bit of trash. So if I were to give an MVP scene, it's the locker room. That intensity, that nervousness, like I felt that they were nervous in that locker room. They're like, this could be it. This is some of our last game. We are not NFL players after this game, possibly. I felt that. I could have used a little bit more of the locker room, maybe like a little bit of the locker room footage in silence, just hearing them tape up, just hearing them like kind of study or stare. I thought that was good. I could have used a little bit more of that. And then I love Mike McCarthy's dad shirt.
He came in with it reminded me of coach from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's always wearing a Hawaii shirt.
He's another good dad shirt guy, Andy Reid,
Andy
he
Reid.
Almost doesn't even wear a shirt. He wears a poncho. And it's just this huge cape on Andy Reid, what do you think Andy Reid weighs?
Oh, man, he's got to be pushing close to 400.
He's got to be, right? Because he's tall, too.
Yeah, big guy. Big guy.
Have you ever seen the footage of him as a 13-year-old from the punt, pass, and kick competition from 1972?
He was so much bigger than everybody else. He was like
he's huge. And he's 13. And there's like a kid who is literally this big next to him who is, 13. It's the best. Anybody go look it up. It's too funny. And you're just towering and he's just booting the hell out of this football, which looks like a child's football in his hands. Category number 2, reality TV show Greenlight. I have three. I have two options this week.
What do you have?
I still like Alacone's Family for a reality TV show because I see it as, even though Alacone is the NFL player, I see it as the mother being the lead, being the star of this reality show. Just she's launching like product lines. She's starting foundations for like English as a second language in school, sort of program. So I see her just at the tip of becoming just this media mogul for my reality TV show. I would watch it. I would totally watch that.
She had a quick snippet this past week, right?
She was just a little bit, and yet it was pretty cool.
Yeah, both moms. Michael Parsons' mom too.
Yep,
Absolutely.
That's true. Yeah, I got her in a few of my categories as well.
Me too. Hey, let me go back. We were just talking about Andy Reid. Not sure if you know this. He has UTEP ties, and I knew he
Yes,
had
he
UTEP
does.
ties. And he was an offensive line coach in 1987 and 1988 for UTEP.
Yeah. Yes, I did. I saw that picture a couple years ago and
Yeah.
him in UTEP coaching gear.
Yeah,
And it's pretty trippy
that's
that
awesome.
UTEP, we always talk about the Bill Belichick coaching tree. UTEP's got a couple of branches that have made it in places. Andy Reid is one, a few coaches, a few on the basketball side as well. So a couple little, maybe not branches, but a few twigs. We got a few twigs
for sure.
going from the UTEP side. Who's your favorite UTEP player who became pro?
It's got to be Tim Hardaway. Easy.
I forgot about Tim Hardaway. You're right. Tim Hardaway's good.
Tim Hardaway. Yeah.
Tim Hardaway's pretty good.
I have a good story with Don Haskins.
Don Haskins, for like people who don't know, was essentially our Bobby Knight. He was the Southwest Bobby Knight. He was gruff. He was angry. Didn't have a lot of winning in 80s into his retirement, but he had that pedigree of winning from the 60s and 70s. So he was kind of our guy, I think.
Obviously, we all know the Glory Road was. He was. That team was after him. He was the person who put the 5 black players on. That started the 5 black players in the national championship against Kentucky, and won, right? But I forget the name of the bar, but anyways, me and my friend Tommy Zubia, you may have heard me talk about him a lot.
Let's get his ID.
Yeah, I know, right? I went through that era of always hitting the bars every day, and we ended up at this bar. It was at the bottom of there used to be a Holiday Inn downtown, right off of Kansas Street. In El Paso, and there used to be a bar that was underneath it, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But it was just a hole-in-the-wall dive bar, right? And he would frequent there. That was his place. He would always, drink and then go home. And so it was only 4 of us in there. It was me, my friend, Tommy, the bear, Don Haskins, and the bartender.
Right, he was the bear. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And so we were getting drunk in there. And so I started asking him, I'm kind of in awe because this is the first time I've ever come face to face with Don Haskins. I guess this should have been this is my story, by the way. Okay, Pat?
All right, screw it. Let's do the story now.
Screw it. Story right now. And I started asking him, I was like, hey, so coach, who was the best player you've ever coached? And he was like, I think it was, did he say Nate? It was Archibald.
Mm-hmm. Nate Tiny Archibald.
Yeah, he was like, well, this is how he answered it. Well, they say Nate Tiny Archibald is one of the top 50 players to ever play in the NBA, so I think it was him. And I was like, holy smokes, I didn't even know he even went to UTEP, right?
Oh, really?
Yes, he coached him at UTEP.
Yeah, he was on that 66 team, right? The championship team. And I think he played for the Celtics, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember those little details right. So you got FaceTime with Don Haskins?
FaceTime.
What year would this have been, more or less?
This had to have been, was it Nate? Did he say Nate Tiny?
Yeah, I think that's the guy.
It was Nate Tiny Archibald.
Okay, we got it right, yeah.
Yes, sir, 1968. Because I always got it mixed up, the story with him and Oscar Robertson for some reason kept coming in my head. But it was Nate Tiny Archibald. Anyways, this had to have been 2000, and I was for sure 21. So maybe 2004, something like
Yeah.
that. 2004 ish.
Yeah, and you just
Before he
got
passed away.
some questions in with the bear,
Yeah,
Don Haskins at a
the
bar.
bear. Yeah,
Man,
man.
that's pretty good. The more I
Yeah,
think of it too, the coach of your college, your hometown, he is essentially the de facto mayor of the town. If you
yeah,
think
for
about it,
sure.
college is the last realm where the coach
Hmm.
is the most important person. In the pros, the coach is the most important person, but
Hmm.
college they are. And every city
Yeah.
has their coach. When I lived in Salt Lake City, it was Rick Majerus. That was the Don
Hmm.
Haskins there. And everybody kind of had a story. They were like, oh, I saw him at such and such. And then the best story about him was I don't know if he had a house or he never lived at a house, but he lived in a hotel for like 5 years plus. He just lived in a hotel, ate hotel food, just went to the hotel bar, and that was
Rick
his life.
Majerus.
Yeah, that was the
That's
sort of
awesome.
the folklore, and that was kind of like that town's guy. That was the guy.
Yeah.
He had the key to the city. He's had great seasons, and I think like Don Haskins is our guy. But probably every city, that's how it goes. Every coach of whatever team is successful,
The,
that's
the
the
question
guy.
is, did he have to have a drinking pass?
Majerus,
Yes.
I would think he got just
Because
come on in.
don't you have to have a drinking pass in
You
Utah? You
used
have to
to.
have.
You used
Okay.
to get into
What was it
places.
called? Yeah.
Membership. It was called a
Yeah, you have
membership.
to. That's weird. I've never seen that ever happen.
Yeah, when I first moved there, yeah, they still had it for a couple years and then they did away with it. But I saw a lot of people have awesome strategies to get away with it. So the way it worked was you would go to a bar and you show your ID like any other bar, but the bouncer would say, "Do you have a membership here?" And you would say, no, I don't have a membership there." "Okay, great. It's $3 for a temporary membership or $10 for the year." So of course, after like 3 times, you're like, why not just buy the year? So you have the membership, and then when you show up, everybody in your party is in. So it's not like everybody has a membership. So it's a
Got
total
you.
arbitrary thing. So here's the best move I've ever seen. This guy comes in, he gets there, and he says, "Do you have a membership?" And the guy says, "No, I don't, but I'm meeting someone here." And he says, "Oh, great. Who are you meeting?" And he would look at the bar and he would pick out the hottest chick at the bar and he would say, "I'm meeting her at the bar." And the bouncer would say, like, "Okay, great. She's a member. She's already in. You come in." And then that was his line. He would go up next to her and be like, "Hey, I just used your membership to get in here for no cover charge. So I got to buy you around." Like that was his move.
Got
And I
you.
was like, God damn it. That's genius. That was a genius move. So there were some odd rules. Luckily they did away with that.
Love it.
I got another reality TV show green light. Okay. You know how we got the Real Housewives of Orange County, New York,
Yes.
Atlanta. Okay. This reality TV show is the real players' moms of Dallas.
There you
And we
go.
have Ala Cohn's mom, we have Kamara Azur's mom, and then we
Yep.
have Sharice Parsons, and we put them in a house, and that's the show. They have to do activities, they have to cook, they have to attend the games. That show would kill. That show would
Yes,
be a
sir.
ratings juggernaut. I don't even know what they're sitting on. The real players' moms of the Dallas Cowboys.
All I want to know is what are they cooking?
Right. We got food. We got like play. They could like talk trash about their sons.
Yeah.
They could
Yep.
blame the other mom's sons for messing up in the game. This is a ratings juggernaut. Do you
You're
have
on
any
it.
other reality TV show green lights?
No, sir. No, sir. You hit him right on the head.
Let's go. Training camp square footage. I got 2. Number 1, am I the only one who gets a kick out of the huge sliding glass doors into the
Oh man,
facility? It just looks so
somebody
kick
has to
ass.
break those. Yeah, somebody's gonna break those.
So I
They're
love the
huge.
sliding glass doors. And then I love the shot of the practice field right next to the huge glass building with all the glass windows. It just looks
That's beautiful.
it looks like the Google campus. It just looks like a
Yeah,
tech company. It looks like just awesome stuff is going on there and they're practicing football right next to it.
yeah,
So I still can't get
that's
enough
awesome.
of footage from the campus.
Yeah, my question about it is can I rent an office there? I mean, I run a business right now.
Good question.
I want to rent an office there, man. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
How cool would it say, hey, I actually have an office at not Valley Ranch, it's not called Valley Ranch
Yeah.
anymore. At the Star,
One
right?
Dallas Cowboys Plaza.
Yeah, at One Dallas Cowboys Plaza. How cool would that
Yes.
be on my social media?
Definitely. You could have your lunch break out on the picnic bench
Yeah.
while I just envision like football going on in every capacity. Like you round the corner, someone's stretching in their football pants. You go outside, they're greasing the ball jugs machine. Just something football related is always happening.
All
You're just like,
times.
that's cool. ESPN used to do a good job with that with their kind of parody commercials back in the late 90s,
Yes.
where they
Yes.
would have the mascots making coffee and players would be in their uniforms.
Making copies.
Yeah, like running kind of menial errands. They nailed it with those commercials. I couldn't get enough of those commercials. Next category, quote of the night. This one's fun. I got
a couple.
I got 3 of them. First one is when they're the 2 players that are playing Connect 4. The one guy says, "That's the thing about Connect 4. You got to think about my moves. I got to think about your moves." Great Connect 4 strategy.
Yeah,
you got to
for
think
sure.
about all the moves. Then I got, what's the other one? Hold on, I can't read my own writing. Third one is the announcer, when DiNucci goes into the preseason game, the announcer goes, "Watch DiNucci catch fire here." And DiNucci goes on to have the worst drive of the night.
He underthrows the guy that was wide open for a touchdown.
It was set up so perfectly. Watch DiNucci kill it. It's misthrowing, guys dropping the ball, him throwing incomplete passes. That could have also been an unintended comedy, but I did like that quote of that.
Sure.
Watch DiNucci. I was like, when have we seen DiNucci catch fire ever?
Never.
Never.
I
What are
had
your quotes?
I had 2 quotes. One from Jerry Jones. I like at the end where he says he's talking about his Whataburger. And for those who've never been to, Texas or the South where there's a Whataburger, you have to get a Whataburger, right? And it's called What a Burger, not Water Burger.
Not water. Yeah, it's Whata.
Yeah, What a Burger.
Yeah.
Right? But he says, "I like my Whataburger untouched." I like that one, and then the other one, I thought it could have been unintended comedy as well, but DeMarcus Lawrence is talking about. He says, "Just because one team doesn't want you doesn't mean 31 others won't."
That's good. Yeah, I did hear that one. That was good. That was essentially kind of like, oh yeah, sure you got dumped by a 7, but you know who might go out with you? A 5. So no reason to get down on you, down on yourself. It was kind of like saying like, have I ever gotten every woman I've ever wanted? No,
Yeah.
but I have gotten every woman who's ever wanted me. That was a good quote. Good humor from the players there.
Yeah, definitely.
Solid quotes. Next category, join the team award.
Yeah.
I got this one. It was only shown for a second, but I want to be the coach who gets to sit on the little chair while the players do the blocking sled, where they fire out and then hit the thing and then it moves back sort of 8 inches. And there's a coach who sits in the little chair and tells them, yeah, I want to be that guy. That seems fun. And those blocking sleds look way more sophisticated than they did 20 years ago. So I think they're pretty cool.
They always put the oldest coach on there too.
Right, that's true. You got to be an old ass coach. Yeah.
Just sit there, pops.
How about this for another power move? Say they're doing the blocking sled and they're like firing out. The coach is telling them, line up. And then all of a sudden he goes, all right, let's get a change. And then Jerry Jones comes out and he sits on the blocking sled chair. And he's like, all right, let's see what you guys got. Like he gives them, right. Just to really, really fuck with their heads. See if they can fire out. That would be good. I'd want to see that.
I like my Whataburger untouched, just like you ain't touching this sled.
Didn't they also say, like, one guy asked him, do you heat it up? And he's like, no. Like, Jerry Jones, are you eating cold meat?
When he said, excuse me?
I don't even touch it. Jerry
Well,
Jones is eating stale bread and cold meat.
that reminded me of my grandfather because as he got older before he passed away, rest in peace, Gramps, right, Papo. Um, he loved Whataburgers, and he would say, "I want a Whataburger, cut the onions," meaning don't
Hmm.
put any onions on there, right? And so
Ah.
he'd eat half the Whataburger and he'd leave the other half like on his stove, and it would just sit there for hours, and then he'd wake up 10 hours later and eat the rest of it. Just cold, not even in the microwave.
That seems like very, very old man behavior.
Yeah.
It's like
Yep.
it's
Cut the
comes to you, it's
onion.
like, don't you wanna heat that up? And he just kind of like looks at you like you're nuts. Like, what for?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Eat it up for what? Any
Yes,
other
sir.
join the team awards?
Yeah, so I just wanted to be invited to that barbecue that was at Michael Parsons' house
Oh, I
where they
have
were
that in a
playing.
few as well. That looks
Yeah,
amazing.
that mac and cheese. Oh my goodness, I'm a mac and cheese person. That thing, I hate it. I feel like I hate it when it's in that big pot because it's baked. Man, that mac and cheese looked perfect,
Yeah.
right? It was nice and stringy. Oh my goodness, I just want to be invited over there. That's I just want to join the team there.
Well, let's skip ahead to the 12th man award because that's what I had for
Yeah,
me. For my 12th man
yeah.
award was
Okay.
I think it was called the Savory Southern Cuisine Restaurant. I'm not sure if I got the name right,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I wrote it down. He had yams,
Yams.
sweet
Mhm.
potato fries, cornbread, mac and cheese, and no one else
And
was in
chicken
the
wings.
restaurant. And he had wings too. And no one's in the restaurant, and they're just eating everything on their plate. They're just going to
Yeah,
town on it
going
hard.
at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could have
that
used.
looked good.
I would have liked to just seen the menu. Like, what else do you guys offer here? Just let me
Yeah.
see everything you got. Let me see. Yeah, we Hard Knocks really. I was thinking about the other good thing about Hard Knocks is when they kind of show what city we're in. You sort of like another character of Hard Knocks
Hmm.
is the city we're actually in. I would like to see a little bit of food. What does
Yeah,
Dallas have to offer for your
true.
food and
That's
your
true.
barbecue? So I'm glad we
Yeah.
got a little bit of it.
Yeah, but that wasn't even like I want to see those their popular places, right? Or maybe that up and coming, trending spot that's gonna be huge in a few years. Yeah, I would
Hmm.
love that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I was glad they had that.
Yeah.
That looked good. Everything looked good.
Yeah. My 12th man went to Terrell Basham for getting up there and doing stand-up comedy, man.
I
I
have that
thought
in a
that was
category too. Yeah.
I thought, and I have a couple questions for you about that because that's your expertise there, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of balls to get up there and do that.
Yeah.
But he had a good invitation.
My questions were number one, he was doing stand up for just his teammates and stuff. Although I saw like there was a lady in the audience. I was like, that's probably a player, wife, or relative. So
Yeah.
he's doing it for his friends and stuff. He was doing all inside jokes, so no one would understand those jokes unless they knew him. He's holding the microphone way too high up on the
He was
mic.
nervous. He was nervous.
Right, he's nervous. He's looking down too much. And then when he gets off, I want to just say like, you see, it's fucking hard. That was not funny at all. It's hard, dude. You can just get up and just tell a stupid story. And then he's trying to do the set again in the meeting room and he totally screws it up.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I did love it because
Yeah.
I like when they take the players off campus and they go like bowling or they go do something.
Yes.
So that was pretty good. I wanted to see more of that because they had the host. The guy obviously kind of worked there. And he's like trying to bring him up. He's trying to get some energy going. And then this guy, but he had balls. You're right. He's like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you give his effort?
Oh, effort a 10. You go up, you get a 10. I always give you
Yeah.
points for the effort. The material sucked, but that's okay. That's okay. You gotta, if we're gonna treat it like a preseason game, then we go back and we watch the footage. And we're like, oh, okay, I touched my face too much. Oh, the story had too many ums in it. Had too many likes in it. It had too many uhs in it. You can tighten it up a little bit. And then the next thing would be like, you got to go to an open mic night that is not your friends and
Watch
family.
them.
You got to go where where 30 other people also sign up and you're 27th on the list, and you go and see if you get any laughs or not. But great idea to like, let's go, everybody go to the comedy club. And this guy wanted to go do his material. He was doing it. I didn't know which coach he was impersonating. I didn't know.
No, he was impersonating DeMarcus Lawrence is who he was impersonating. The other defensive lineman, the one that got paid a couple years ago. So
right, like he had a nugget of a humorous situation in there. So you could tell he had been doing some thinking. He'd been doing some writing about it. So he had a nugget. He didn't just like, he wasn't like, say like, not like Shaq, for example, thinks he's funny and whatever he says, he thinks is funny. This guy worked on something. You could tell. It's like, okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. And he was nervous, but he did it. A for effort. I give him a 10 for the effort.
I love it.
Yeah.
That was my 12th man.
Yeah. Excellent one. Casting couch. Okay. I'm thinking outside of the box for this one. My casting couch, the two major players on this team are Dak and Zeke.
Okay.
I say we reboot Bad Boys. We cast Dak. Will Smith plays Dak. Martin Lawrence plays Ezekiel Elliott. And it's instead of Bad Boys, it's Cow Boys. Right. I haven't thought if they solve crime, if they play football, if they're maybe business tycoons and they're closing deals. Something comedy, because if we have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, we got to have some comedy in there. But I say we go Dak and Zeke, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
That's almost perfect because Dak is kind of that kind of stern, kind of straight-faced type of guy, and that's kind of how Will Smith plays.
Yeah.
He throws the dry, sense of humor, the dry jokes through there, right? Mm-hmm. And then Martin Lawrence is just that dork, right? He's just a dork. That's all you can explain. That's Ezekiel Elliott.
I go back. I watched. When's the last time you watched Bad Boys? I watched it
been that long.
I watched it like 5 months ago, and I'm like, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. I watch it. Martin Lawrence is the star of that movie.
Yeah.
I watch it. I'm expecting Will Smith to just throw 100 miles an hour. Martin Lawrence is the star of that movie. You forget that Martin Lawrence's star was every bit equal to Will Smith at the time.
At the time, yeah.
He's making all the jokes. He's doing all the pratfalls into the little kid's pool. And Will Smith is kind of difficult in the movie. He's kind of like the little brother. So great rewatch in the Bad Boys. I want Martin Lawrence to play Ezekiel Elliott. He could do it.
That was a good one, Pat.
You think they would be cops?
Right there.
Or what would they be, though?
I feel like they're going to be cops with crop tops.
Cool cops? Yeah. Like, Bad Boys was like in Miami. Yeah. These guys, we got to put them in Dallas. We got to keep them in Dallas.
Yeah.
So maybe maybe they're cops, but some cops in some towns, they'll still wear the cowboy hat. Yeah. Maybe they're those kinds of
Rangers.
cops.
Maybe they're not Texas Rangers.
Okay, maybe not, but they got to be cops in some. They got to solve some sort of crimes. They got to chase people. They got to get caught in some like precarious situation, and to get out of it, Dak has to call a play. And he's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to run, 22 toss option trap up the middle. That's how we're going to get out of this warehouse. It'll be something like that. They got to use their talents to get out of jams. I love it. Cowboys.
I casted Mike James from The King of Queens as Mike McCarthy when he came out
definitely. He's good for that.
Dad shirt.
I'm with you all the way on Kevin James being Mike McCarthy.
Especially with the dad shirt when he came out for that scene.
Yeah.
That was just like spot on.
I would almost be all for casting every coach in the NFL currently. Just like, let's see, and let's like make a little 3-minute something like NFL, Fox NFL pregame seems like they would be down with this thing. Like, Frank Caliendo playing 16 of the different characters. You can have Rob Riggle playing some. Yeah, I want to see every coach casted.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
I got a good one for players' wives this week. This is the Players' Families edition. Okay, players' wife. Cherie Parsons cooks an entire buffet.
Dude,
for
gosh.
look like 10 members of the team. That seemed
Yeah.
like the place to be. They're in this dope house that
Mm-hmm.
looks like a museum. And
Mm-hmm.
she's got the tin out with the mac and cheese. Everybody's just scooping it. I
Yeah.
think that's the place they were playing Connect Four at.
Yeah, it was. It was.
She's kind of she's the underrated star. She might be the 12th man of this whole series because I can't get enough of her. She's cheering, she's
Yeah,
cooking.
she's awesome.
Yeah, I got her for my players' wives, and then I got this was funny. Kamara Azur's mom wearing the native clothing all episode
Yes.
long,
That's
and
exactly
then
what I put.
and then Kamara takes her shopping at the Dallas Cowboys souvenir shop.
Yeah. And she was not impressed with any of that.
Doesn't seem like
stuff.
she bought anything.
She was like, "Do you ever think you're gonna get your number up there?"
Didn't seem like she did a lot of purchasing.
Yeah. What I did like though is that when she was at the game, she even had the traditional dress on still, but she had the
Yeah.
Cowboys colors going at the game.
Oh,
I thought that was super cool.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They showed her. Yeah.
Definitely players wives award goes to the two moms
Yeah.
this week, and
That's exactly who I had, Pat.
she's hanging tough with
Kamara's
the
mom.
traditional garb. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I thought that was so cool. You had Dallas Cowboy colors because you can't wear the yellow to the Cowboys games, right? You know, you gotta support your son, and you're wearing the traditional with the colors of their team. I loved it.
I
Thought it
so
was awesome.
hope Kamara makes the team. That way we can
He
see
did,
what
by the way. He made
Okay,
the team.
we need an update. Who made it? Who did not?
I've got
so-
your update right here if you want to know.
So we have Kamara made it. So we have potential that we can see his mom every week at the game in different
Yep.
traditional garb. Alacon, did he make it?
He did not make it.
Oh, really?
He got cut. He may be brought back for on the
Ah.
practice squad. But did you know he's 6'6", 318 pounds?
That's huge.
Jesus, he's huge.
I can't imagine. Well, if he's on the practice squad, do you think there's got to be other teams that want him? That size
Yeah.
is got to be coachable, or there's people need offensive linemen.
Yes, I was gonna say that offensive lineman, that's definitely a need everywhere all the time. So if he clears waivers, he'll go onto the practice squad.
Okay, gotcha. So he's currently waivers. Maybe I got to think someone's going to pick him. I like him in Dallas, though. The story was great.
Yep.
The only other place I can think is he would do great in LA, of course,
Yeah.
because
Big Mexican population.
right, we would love him in LA. Vegas, I can see Vegas being potential as well.
He can make it here in Houston.
Houston as well.
Yeah.
Let's say he's going somewhere.
I could see the Bears too. I could see him making it with the Bears.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
He's going somewhere. And then our question from last week, where is DiNucci this November? I said he's out of football. He got cut.
He got cut.
So he's a goner, and yet we wasted 4 episodes on DiNucci. Didn't even make the team.
We spent energy. We spent, our emotions on that guy, right? For the last 2 weeks.
I definitely did. So DiNucci, 4 episodes with DiNucci, doesn't even make the team. Doesn't even make it to episode 5. Doesn't even make it to the season finale. 12th man award we talked about. Mine was the restaurant.
Yep. Okay.
Yours was Kamara's mom.
Yep. No, 12th man, I had Terrell Basham,
Oh, that's right.
the comedy.
Terrell Basham. That's right.
sir.
Unintended comedy. Unintended comedy.
I thought that connect. Let me go. I thought the Connect Four scene was unintended comedy, where he was telling him, "Man, you just like you're making bozo plays, man. You're just how you said when you got to think for the other person and yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was my unintended comedy. Was the
Yeah.
Connect Four. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that quote was good. Who knew you were going to get a Connect Four quote? I'll read it again.
Yeah,
That's the thing
please
about
do.
Connect Four. You got to think about your moves, my moves.
Yeah.
Great quote. Great quote for Connect Four. Unintended comedy. I got 2 unintended comedies. There was the part where the coach is trying to motivate Jaquan, and he says, "You got to seize the opportunity." And to do it, he grabs a bottle of juice and he's like, "You got to seize it." And then he puts it back down.
And then he put that quote. He actually wrote that quote down.
Yeah,
The
right.
opportunity.
they showed Jaquan's notebook and he writes down, sees the opportunity by grabbing a bottle of juice. Yeah. Then this was kind of interesting to me, when Mike McCarthy goes to shake Urban Meyer's hand in the middle of the field, and he's doing the like, how's it going? Having fun? I always love those coach awkward interactions. Yeah. And Urban Meyer says, "Oh, you know what it is. It's all football." I'm like, "Oh, I thank you. Thank you for the most oversimplification of all time. It's all football."
Yeah. And then he said, but no recruiting calls.
Right. He said he didn't have to recruit.
Don't have to follow up on people's classes.
Yeah. Urban Meyer is got to be my biggest question mark of the season. How is he going to do? I was listening to somebody's pod, and they were saying Urban Meyer has never lost. Everywhere he goes, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles losing, because he's not winning the division. He's not guaranteed play. He's got a rookie QB.
Yep.
How's he going to handle the losing? So I'm very curious to watch.
Is it going to be another case of Nick Saban? Remember when he came to the Miami Dolphins?
Steve Spurrier's another one.
Yeah,
Chip Kelly's another one.
Halfway through the season, Nick Saban quit and just went back to Alabama.
Yep.
Like, who does that?
Like a quick little black eye on the Saban resume is he was in Miami for 7 minutes, and then right back to Alabama and winning back to his winning ways. Back to if you want to be the star and you're a coach, you got to be in college. You're not the star in the pros.
You have a lot of that shows you how much control college coaches have over recruiting. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're just a big name and you've got a big college, all you have to you write your own destiny pretty much, you know? Mm-hmm. So that was too, and when he went to the NFL, nobody cared. Like, you have to draft your players, you know, you had salary caps, you know, these are grown men getting paid. So yeah, that wasn't working out for Nick Saban at all.
Goes back to the Don Haskins is, you are the king. If you're a college head coach in a D1 system, you are king. If you're a national champion, you are empire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Pending questions. I have 4 questions. I can't remember who said this. One of the cornerbacks said this. He says, "I got to get my Sugar Ray on." What does "get my Sugar Ray on" mean? What do you think he meant by that? I'm assuming he meant the boxer.
Yeah. He had
I think he meant he was going to dance, or he was going to, move quickly.
His footwork, yeah.
Pretty old reference for someone who was like 20, 22 years old.
Yep.
What does "get my Sugar Ray on"? Number 2.
Good question.
Number 2, Dak has been wearing a ball cap for this whole series, and it says like Centro on it. What does Dak's hat say? Have you noticed that he's wearing this ball cap in meetings?
Yeah,
and I think it says
Cowboys. No, it actually says Cowboys on it. Yeah, it's in the cursive. And the reason why I know this is because, again, on Twitter, somebody, like, when he had his press conference at the beginning of training camp, he was wearing that same hat, and somebody said, "Man, that hat is fire." And they said, "Where can I get this?" And they tagged the pro shop, the Cowboys pro shop, and they said, "We may not be able to get this hat because this hat was 2 years ago. We made this hat 2 years ago. It came out 2 years ago." So,
but it says Cowboys. It doesn't say Centro.
It says. I think it's. I'm almost positive it says Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah, his hat was.
It could. There is another one that Zeke was wearing. It was Dallas. No, it was Central. You might be right.
That's what I thought I was reading, but I couldn't get a good close-up look on it. And he's had it on for every episode. So that's definitely finally episode 4 in my pending questions. What the hell is that hat he's wearing? Because it looks like a team hat. It's got colors, but it looks like it says Central on it. And I haven't done any Googling or image searching on it, but it's been bothering me. What is Dak wearing and why?
I thought that was the hat that Zeke Elliott was wearing before.
I see it on Dak is the only time I've noticed it, but it's been an unknown for 4 episodes now. It seems like it's going to continue to be an unknown on the pending questions.
Yes.
Next question. pending
That's a good
question.
question, PAT. You got me
Yeah,
thinking.
we're going to have to look it up and figure it
Go
out for
ahead.
episode 5, the season finale. Next pending question. Who the hell is this Rush guy that's the QB? He's wearing number 10.
Cooper Rush.
Who's this guy? We know way too much about DiNucci. We know nothing about the other QBs. And my last pending question is, where do you stand on players trading jerseys after games?
I like that. I
Do you?
like
It
that. I
comes
like
from
it. Yeah.
soccer, I think.
Yeah, for sure. It comes from soccer.
I definitely would like to be like the last man on the bench, and as soon as the game is over, just sprint straight to Mahomes
Yeah.
and be like, "Can I have your jersey?" And Mahomes would just be like, "What the hell are you?" It was like, because it seems like when you ask, they have to give you your jersey.
Yes.
I never seen
You can't
anybody
say
like,
no to me. You can't
right,
say no
like,
to me.
yeah, I'll give you my number 77 jersey. You give me your Mahomes 15. I never seen any player be like, "No, get the hell away from my jersey."
I want to say I think I saw I think Kobe said something about it about he hated it was either Kobe or it was somebody who retired who was a competitor. It could have even been Ray Lewis. It was like there's no way I could have traded a jersey right after the football game especially if I lost. I'll be so pissed. I'm not going over there. Like he was making he was not making fun of, but he was kind of condemning that whole act of especially if you lost the game. How are you going to lose the game and then be wanting to go exchange jerseys right after
There's
that?
a
You
lot of
know?
friendliness
Yeah,
amongst competitors these days, which I still
yeah,
don't know how to feel about.
yeah. Me neither.
I want them to like not be quite so sportsmanship like after the games.
Yeah,
Feels like it's like a big hug
yeah.
fest, even
But
though
then if you act the other way, people start saying, "Oh, you're a baby. You know what I mean. You have no sportsmanship, and you just walked off the court without shaking hands. Like what? Like I'm
right,
pissed. Yeah, no, man. I understand the emotions.
right. I like it when the away team wins and they somehow find a way to desecrate the home field. remember, remember when who was it? Somebody was dancing on the field, and LaDainian Tomlinson got pissed and tried to. I think it was
Oh,
the
it was
Patriots were
yeah, it
dancing
was
on the San Diego field, and the
they were
Danians. I
doing
just right. They're doing
the
the dance, and LaDainian
Sean
Tomlinson
Marion.
took issue. Right, that's right, Sean
Yeah,
Marion.
they did the Sean Marion dance and everything
Yeah,
on
I like
their
that. I
logo.
like that there's some feistiness when they kind of extend their bounds and start
Yeah,
celebrating too much. And then the
yeah.
losers will be like, hey man, we're not cool with that. I like
Yeah,
that.
it goes back to Terrell Owens when he was with San Francisco,
Oh, that
getting
was
on the
good too.
star, and then he got nailed by George Teague,
George Teague, that's right. I
the
remember George Teague.
safety.
Yep.
Yep,
And then didn't Emmett Smith get a little like a
yep,
retribution? He scored a
yeah,
touchdown and he did the Terrell Owens celebration, but like angry. He was
yeah,
angry. I like that. I like the in-game sort of fighting going on.
yeah,
That's good
yes,
too. I like that.
yes. It's
Pending
Juju
questions.
Smith
Did I leave any
Schuster's
out?
now. Oh, my pending question is we haven't seen anything about Michael Gallup for some reason. I don't know if that's intentional. He's the third wide receiver on the team. He's actually up on contract year this year, who's just as good as Amari CD Lamb, right?
Hmm.
He's up there. We haven't seen anything on that guy at
A lot of
all.
DiNucci, no Gallup. You're right.
Yeah. And so I'm wondering
DiNucci knows
why.
some dirt on some HBO executive or something. This is way too much DiNucci, way too much third string QB. And no Gallup, no Amari Cooper, no Mike McCarthy. We've gotten 2 bites of Mike McCarthy. And
Yeah.
that's about it. Very interesting question is what's up with Gallup? What's up with some of the major players?
Yeah.
DiNucci. I
Yep.
think DiNucci with the beyond him playing chess, that was it.
Yeah.
Uh,
One thing that I was left with from the show when they were playing the last game, they actually had a scene at the end on on what's his name? Uh Specs. What do they call him? His last name is Hardy. His name is Spec Rex, Rex Specs,
Oh,
the guy
Rex
that
Specs,
wears.
Jaquan Hardy.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Jaquan Hardy. So they actually said they were talking about Jaquan Hardy, Ben DiNucci, and Alicorn, and again, they didn't know that they were going to get cut, and all three of those guys got cut. And they said these three guys are
Jaquan also,
fighting.
huh? I didn't know
Yeah,
about him.
he got cut today too. So all three of them got cut after they were saying they're all fighting it out today. None of
Yeah,
them are coming back.
none of them made it. Just business, just the harsh reality of there's only room for so many people.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
What do you got for your regular season prediction after you watch this episode? Last week we were high on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
How about this
Where
week?
were we at? Where were we at last week? 12-5 was
I
last
went
week?
12-5. I think you went. I think
I
you
went
went
12-5 also.
the same. Yeah, we were very high on the team after last week.
I'll go 11-6 this week. Just
I
making
went
the
10-7.
playoffs.
I came down to reality a little bit this week in the sense that they got some good players at their core, but
COVID.
we got COVID. We have rookie. I'm just a little bit more down to reality. So I went 10-7 this week,
Yeah.
fighting for the wild card.
Yes, sir.
Although in their division, you got Washington, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys. Am I leaving anybody out? That's a division that they can
Giants, Eagles.
win if they stay healthy.
Giants, Eagles, Redskins, our football team. Sorry, Washington football team.
I find that offensive to other football teams.
Good stuff.
Who won the episode?
Story time. Who won the episode?
We got to do who won the episode.
I forgot about that category. Okay, who won the episode? The defensive team getting fed by Mama Dukes.
It's
Mama
pretty good.
Parsons.
I wanted some of that food, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it made me want to eat. Like those guys won the episode.
You know what I've noticed about myself? You know when people put out the food, like you're at a party, you're at a barbecue, and they put out the food, and they're like, food's ready, and everyone's a little hesitant because they don't want to be the first person in line. I have caught myself being the first person in that line several times.
That's good.
Right.
You're supposed to be the first person.
But they're like, who's ready? I'm like, excuse me. And I just go up there. I'm like, oh, maybe I should wait half a beat. Let the grandma get a plate in before I go in there with the spatula. I got a controversial one for who won the episode.
Tell me.
Ben DiNucci. The guy's cut. He essentially got a professionally edited training reel done for him for the first 4 episodes. They've seen him in the locker. They've seen him play chess. They've seen him throw good balls. I think Ben DiNucci won this episode, even though he got cut. I think he has a great reel now.
If all else fails, he could be the poster guy for Just for Men beards.
He's got a good beard.
His beard is so perfect.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad. You know what? They should have said to like all the third string backup QBs, because once you get cut, you essentially try and become a broadcaster when you get cut as a QB. And when you start out broadcasting, you don't start out with SEC. You don't start out with Pac-12 games. You start out with like Atlantic 10. You start out with Conference USA. So the coach should be like, DiNucci, if you don't bust your butt, you're going to be calling games for the Conference USA if you don't watch it. They should threaten him with shitty broadcasting jobs.
You know who could play Ben DiNucci?
Who?
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo could play Ben DiNucci in the casting couch.
Yeah,
he definitely could. He definitely
could.
Absolutely. He's talking like kind of funny stories on the sideline, talking golf.
Yes,
just throw a couple dimes on his reps in the field, and then back to the bench, back to stories.
Yes, sir.
I'd be all the way with that. I think Romo's going to be our guy for the next 30 years in the booth. So I'm all the way.
I love it.
Story time. Diamonds are forever. Yours was meeting Don Haskins.
Yeah, that was my story time.
Mine is, I've been sitting on this one for a while. This is the infamous John Madden football game debacle. Circa 2000, 2002, you and I shared an apartment.
It had to have been later than 2002. It had to.
Oh, you're right. 2003 or 2004 then.
It was like 2003.
2003. You and I are renting a 2-bedroom apartment.
This is a
And you
great
would
story.
have, this was in the height of the John Madden Xbox era as well.
PlayStation, sir.
PlayStation, sorry. So this is Madden time. You would get your friends to come over, but our location of our apartment was on a side of town that I think your friends were completely enamored with. They were like, we can finally come over to this side of town because Diamante has an apartment. This can be our little headquarters. So you guys would play John Madden football for like $20, and you guys were so into it that I think you would make your own teams. You would pick your teams like with your own players.
Yeah, we would draft our own teams. We'd get
Right.
one draft pick from anybody on. It could be offense or defense, just one pick.
Right. And then so that was number one source of you guys ridiculing each other. Be like, who's your guy? Oh, this guy. Pussy. Why'd you pick him? Why'd you pick him? You're stupid. You're stupid for picking him. So that was already number one source of ridicule, is you would berate each other over your draft picks. And then you would play for $20 and the games would get heated and you would have a little argument over it. But it all came to a head when one of your friends, his name was Raul, would play John Madden. And you hated Raul. Raul hated you. I hated Raul just because by association. He was this little like Mexican dude who was just sort of like always talking shit.
Like
and
a
he was a little weasel. He was a goober. He was just a goober.
Yeah.
This annoyed me. It just annoyed me. He annoyed you. And you're playing John Madden football and you're talking trash. I'm sitting on the couch waiting for you to finish to leave. I am just over this. I'm hating every second of this. And you're playing John Madden football and the game is super heated. And you score a touchdown at near the end of the game and you're in the lead and you throw your control down and you start dancing on the carpet. You start calling Raul all sorts of names. You tell him he's stupid, he's an idiot, he's going to get fired the next day. And in your celebration, the game automatically kicks off the ball. Remember, like if you would wait long enough, the game would just sort of start the play for you.
Yeah.
You're dancing around. The game kicks the ball off to Raul. You're still dancing. And Raul proceeds to run the kickoff all the way back. You're not even looking at the screen because you're still dancing and talking trash to Raul. He's about to score. And you realize what is happening, and you pull the electrical socket out of the wall outlet. The game turns off. Half our lights turn off too. You plug it back in and the lights come back on and Raul's face is as white as a ghost. He can't believe what you've done. And he starts calling you a cheater. He starts calling you an asshole. You're like, he says, you owe me $20, D. I won that game. You cheated. And then you kick over his beer onto our carpet.
Boom.
Onto our carpet. You spill his beer on our carpet. And then you tell him, get the fuck out of my house. And if Raul's face wasn't white before, it's more white. Now, he can't believe the audacity of you. And Raul is he doesn't want to leave, but you're essentially kind of like brushing him out, you know? He's trying to like talk trash and you're kind of pushing him through the door. And he's like, this isn't over, D. This isn't over. You owe me $20. You cheated. And you kick him out of the house. And then we start having to clean up the mess you made on the carpet from kicking over his beer. And then at some point you sit on the couch and you come to the realization, I'm pissed because this has gone way too long and you spilled beer all over our apartment. I'm pissed. And then you come to the realization and you say, Pat, I lost that game fair and square.
I did. I did. I was like, Pat, I fucking lost that game, man.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you and your friends and John Madden and kicking over his beer onto our carpet? That's
a good story, Pat. That was a very good story.
I don't think we spoke for 2 days after that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That was the infamous Raul story.
We had some battles on Madden. Like some of those games would be $100 games because we were behind that much money, right? And it was intense. Me and that dude still go back and forth and bicker at each other. And
Jeez.
he's got to be 41 years old and I'm 39. You know,
Yeah.
Things haven't changed.
Almost 20 years later.
Yeah, he's in one of my fantasy leagues.
Oh, jeez.
I've known that guy since probably middle school, elementary school.
It was just the perfect hate relationship.
Yeah.
I think you like hating him. Like, I think you hate him, but I think you like to hate him. And he's the same way. He just was like, you weren't happy to see each other ever. You didn't act like friends. Like, you had other friends and you guys were like friends. You didn't act like friends with each other. You guys were just pissed at each other all the time. It was nonstop. What team are you playing? I'm this team. Pussy. That's a pussy team. And then the next game you would be that team. So it was just the perfect hate relationship. And it all came to a head that night when you pulled the electrical socket, the electrical wire out of the socket, and
cheating,
all our lights turned.
Like that thing that kicked. I'm not even on the sticks, and that thing kicked off. And instead of him hitting pause for me to play, he just runs it back. Cheating.
If I was you, I would make the argument that that's a glitch in the game. They should have gave you a delay of game penalty.
Yeah.
And then you have to physically press the button to kick it off. So
you're right.
That's the argument I would have made if I was you is like, no, that play should be a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Of course, that would have led to you starting another game and another 45 minutes of me being aggravated on the couch. Yeah. And then you and Raul talking shit and never really solving anything, as we've learned. You guys are still at each other's necks. 20 years later, Raul.
20 years later.
That was episode 4 of Diamonds Are Forever. Next week, the season finale. What are we going to do?
Oh, my goodness. I've got to come out with a good story to tell for Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
I got to dig deep on this one.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to dig deep too. Yeah, I was sitting on the Raul one. I was like, I have to tell that one. Next week, we put a bow on it. So next week, episode 5, the final episode of Hard Knocks for Diamante Williams, for Diamonds Are Forever. I am Patrick Ramirez. We will see you next week, buddy. Okay, that is it. That is the episode. That is episode 4 of Hard Knocks, Dallas Cowboys. So long, DiNucci. Why did you make us invest so much in you? What are you doing now? Are you in football? Are you playing chess? I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm still not over this. Hard Knocks. What is it with you and your love affair with Ben DiNucci? Was it the chess? Let's try and forget about that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I know I did. One more episode next week, the season finale of the show, our season finale of Diamonds Are Forever. Go check it out and go check out my stand-up clip that is on my YouTube channel. You'll love it. Until next week, for me, Patrick Ramirez, and Diamante Williams, Diamonds Are Forever.